Louis Vuitton allegedly filing for bankruptcy? Are you kidding me? This is the same fashion empire people kill to wear. The same brand that's been flaunted by every celebrity, influencer, and rich kid with a trust fund. And now, boom, it's allegedly going under. All because of the Monogram collection, their signature, their crown jewel. And it gets crazier. Delphine Arnault herself, yeah, the daughter of LVMH kingpin Bernard Arnault, allegedly shut it all down, just pulled the plug. I think this is one of the wildest collapses in luxury fashion we've ever seen.
Name it, most of them are made in China, and most of them are made in our factory. Yeah, I'm telling you. But why these luxury brands never tell you that? Because they are trying to pretend to be products of some sophisticated European countries like Italy or France.
We are going to be successful. In a few weeks, the shop was open. We sell the most expensive products in a country where everybody was going by bicycle.
A slowdown and a contraction in the global luxury market. About 50 million people either opted out or were forced out of the luxury market over the past 2 years.
I do feel people started to get tired of purchasing products and realize that we just bought too much and it didn't really make us happier.
And honestly, it was coming. This brand has been riding on fumes for a while now. The fraud allegations didn't just shake the industry, they cracked it. And now with this shutdown, the whole damn empire might be crashing. Let's talk about what's going down, who's behind it, and what this means for the future of Louis Vuitton. Let's start with the nuclear bomb, bankruptcy. Allegedly, Louis Vuitton is preparing documents or has already filed quietly behind closed doors. Whispers say the paperwork was triggered internally, not by courts, not by government pressure, internally. That's what makes this even more insane.
Cost Deal less than 60 euros to make a handbag that it sells for nearly 3,000 euros. That's what Italian authorities found out when they raided factories making products for Dior and other fashion brands like Armani.
If it's true, that means they're not just reacting, they're conceding, giving up. And I think that silence, that eerie silence from their PR team, it's saying everything. If you're Louis Vuitton and this hits your desk, you scream denial. You put out a flashy statement, maybe even throw a fashion show to distract people. But nope, nothing. And in luxury, silence is panic. They're allegedly drowning in legal issues, and the Monogram scandal was the tipping point. I think they know the lawsuits were only the beginning, and they want out before the house of cards explodes.
Okay, let's go.
Delphine Arnault didn't just cancel a bag line. She allegedly shut down the Monogram collection, the actual heart of Louis Vuitton. This isn't just a business move. This is a legacy move. She's Bernard Arnault's daughter. She's not just a suit. She's royalty in the luxury world. And if she decided to pull the plug on the Monogram line, that's her declaring war on the people inside her own empire. Think about it. This is the same woman who's been trained for decades to protect the brand. She's not reckless. If she made this call, she saw something serious, something dangerous. I think she found out the Monogram line wasn't just inspired by stolen concepts. It was fully jacked from underground creators, the kind of stuff you can't sweep under the rug. So what does she do? She scorches the earth, shuts it down before the lawsuits start flying harder. And here's the part that blows my mind.
The chip came out. A little over 1 square foot of vaqueta leather came out, 2 different finishes. The best vaqueta leathers in the market is $7, $8. At their level, let's give them $10. And you need 2 square foot. So $20 for the leather, $5 for the materials, inner linings, fabrics, authentication, chip, and $10 for the...
If Delphine is the one making this move, she's doing it to protect LVMH from burning with Vuitton. That tells me the situation is way worse than we thought. Let's talk about this stolen collection. The Monogram pattern is everywhere. Bags, belts, wallets, luggage. It's the DNA of Louis Vuitton. But now, that DNA is under attack. Allegations say the designs were lifted, not inspired, straight up copied, from lesser-known creators, maybe even indigenous artists and underground designers who never had the power to fight back.
You recognize this style, this bag? Of course you do. For the past more than 30 years, we have been the OEM factory for most of the luxury brands around the world. Gucci, Prada, Coach, Louis Vuitton, you name it. But for this, I am not proud because we were only making our wages. The profit margin for the people who are actually making the bags are very low.
And you know what? I believe it. This brand has been dancing around lawsuits for years. You think it's a coincidence that multiple independent designers came forward with receipts showing eerily similar designs? Nah, I think this is deeper. I think they were outsourcing pattern work, then claiming it as heritage. That's not heritage. That's theft in luxury packaging. Now people are turning their monogram bags inside out. Literally. No one wants to be caught flaunting a logo that might have been stolen. And shutting down the line? That's a confession. They don't want this in court. People forget that Louis Vuitton isn't some independent fashion house. It's the crown jewel of LVMH, the biggest luxury group in the world. You mess with Vuitton, you mess with the entire empire. And now that the monogram scandal's boiling over, investors are allegedly losing it. Luxury stocks have been sliding. Buyers are pulling orders. And let's be honest, luxury is built on illusion. Once that illusion breaks, the money vanishes. If Vuitton really is filing for bankruptcy, this could be LVMH's nightmare scenario. Imagine what happens if Dior or Celine is next. I think this is the crack in the dam, and Delphine's trying to plug it before the whole thing bursts. And it gets worse. Sources say internal audits were skipped. Money was shuffled to delay exposure. That's not just bad business, that's straight up shady. Someone high up allegedly tried to cover this for years. Now the plug's pulled, and the receipts are leaking. If Delphine knew and acted too late, she's complicit. If she just found out, then who the hell was hiding it? The moment this shutdown hit social media, fashion insiders went feral. Influencers are deleting monogram content. Retailers are quietly pulling inventory. Stylists are refusing to dress celebs in Vuitton until this clears. This isn't just a scandal, this is an identity crisis for the brand. And let me be clear, I think they deserve the heat. For too long, Louis Vuitton's been untouchable. The fake exclusivity, the markups, the fake scarcity, it was always smoke and mirrors. Now the smoke's cleared, and what's left? A brand allegedly built on stolen work, bankrupt books, and silence. That's what happens when you play luxury like a casino. I even saw a few former Vuitton execs trying to defend the brand. Too late, the receipts are out, and the community is done. If the elite fashion world turns its back, there's no comeback. No runway show will fix that. Behind every luxury empire is a dynasty, and the Arnauts are no exception. Bernard Arnault, the titan behind LVMH, spent decades building this behemoth. But now, all eyes are on his daughter Delphine. Because if she really forced the monogram collection into early retirement, then she didn't just flex her title, she pulled rank. And that has people talking. Is this the beginning of a quiet war inside the Arnault empire? Some insiders say Bernard didn't want to pull the plug. He wanted to ride the storm, just like he always has. But Delphine allegedly overruled him. I think that's huge. That's not just strategy. That's a takeover. Delphine's always been seen as the soft power within LVMH. Diplomatic, polished, controlled. But this move was bold, cold, surgical, like she's done playing nice and ready to claim the throne. And maybe that's exactly what this is, a changing of the guard. She saw the rot inside Louis Vuitton and cut it out, publicly. And in luxury, that's as loud as a scream. Let's talk damage control, or lack of it. Because from what I'm seeing, the Louis Vuitton team didn't even try to do the usual PR gymnastics. No pre-written statement, no carefully crafted CEO letter, nothing but silence. And that silence, it reeks of panic. According to multiple whispers online, internal documents started vanishing weeks ago. Executives ghosted public appearances. High-level staff took sudden sabbaticals. Yeah, right, that's not coincidence. That's a scramble. I think they were trying to wipe their fingerprints off the mess before Delphine caught wind. Some reports say customer service reps were given scripts weeks in advance on how to handle inquiries about product line changes. Let me translate. They knew this was coming. They just hoped no one would notice. But the problem with suppressing a scandal this big, Once it breaks, it's 10 times louder. And now the questions they were avoiding, they're unavoidable. You know it's serious when celebrities start jumping ship. In the past week alone, at least 3 major A-listers have allegedly backed out of planned Louis Vuitton campaigns. One of them, a Grammy-winning artist who was supposed to wear a monogram piece at Cannes, pulled the look last minute. That's not a scheduling conflict, that's calculated distance. And it's not just celebs. Fashion influencers who once begged for brand deals are deleting posts, removing tags, and canceling orders. One big-name TikTok stylist even posted a now viral video saying, "I'm done with brands that steal." No name drop, but we all knew who she meant. Even the streetwear scene is souring. Remember when LV used to be untouchable in sneaker culture? Now resellers are panicking. Prices are tanking, hype is fading. And you know what? I think this is good. I think the entire industry needed a reset. People were blinded by logos and forgot what real design looks like. And if Louis Vuitton has to crumble to make that happen, so be it. This is where it goes full thriller. Allegedly, there's a second collection, internally referred to as Shadowline, that's also being scrapped. According to Fashion Insiders, Shadowline was a planned high-end fusion of monogram with streetwear drops targeted for fall 2025. The designs, already made. The samples, already delivered. But now, vanished. Multiple sources say warehouses were cleared overnight. Designers were told their contracts had expired. No explanation. One model even posted a now-deleted story of a blacked-out Louis Vuitton duffel tagged had Shadowline, with the caption, "Guess I wasn't supposed to keep this LOL." I think they're scrubbing the evidence. I think the monogram mess wasn't isolated. It infected more than one project. Maybe the Shadowline collection borrowed even more heavily from inspired sources. And if that's true, Louis Vuitton didn't just cross a line, they built a whole new one and tried to bury it. So here we are. A brand that once defined luxury, now allegedly filing for bankruptcy. The Monogram collection. Shut down. Delphine Arnault, playing queen and executioner. And the luxury world, shaken to its core. I think this is poetic. A brand that got drunk on power, fame, and fake exclusivity finally getting humbled. And the most insane part? They did it to themselves. They weren't taken down by competitors or haters. They were taken down by their own greed, arrogance, and silence. This isn't just a fashion story. It's a warning. Because once the illusion breaks, there's no putting it back together.